Hey YouTubers, welcome back. Today I just thought I'd make a video and show you guys my new wood stove now that it's installed. I previously showed it to you guys during some previous Q&A videos during the installation. So today I'm going to show you how I installed it, and I'm also going to talk a bit about the codes here when it comes to installing wood stoves. So first of all, I'm going to start at the bottom here. As you can see, it's off the ground here, and you may be wondering why that is. And here's a side shot of that. The reason why it's off the ground like that is because it's in a shop or a garage. And the code here in Canada requires that the belly of the stove be at least 18 inches from the bottom of your floor. So in my case here, the belly of the stove is approximately 19 inches and 3/4 from the floor. So I exceeded the code a bit, which is good. You're always better to exceed the code a little bit than being under. For example, if I was under 18 inches, then the inspector would have made me jack up the stove again. So if I'm over what the code requires, then when the inspector comes, you have no problems. Now, the inspector told me that the reason for having it off the ground like that is in case you spill chemicals or gas. With the stove being jacked up like that, there's less chance of it igniting. So basically, it's for safety reasons. So all I've got here is 3 blocks and a sidewalk stone, and that jacked up the stove perfectly. Now, if you move up, you can see I just put a single-walled pipe here. I did not go with the double-walled. The difference with just having a single-walled pipe is that your clearances have to be further from any combustible material. Example, the wall back there or firewood over there. If you use a single wall pipe here in Canada, you have to have at least 18 inches between it and any combustible material. But if you use a double wall pipe, your clearances can be as close as 8 inches to any combustible material. I didn't bother going with a double wall pipe because my stove requires it having 18 inches between it and any combustible material, so there was no point in this case to use the double wall pipe to go right out of the stove. And if you get a stove for your garage or shop, make sure it is certified because your insurance will not cover you in case of a fire. Most new stoves that you buy will be certified, and it's going to say on the back here it's ULC, and it's going to give you all the clearances in the back that the stove is required to have. It's all back here. Make sure you provide this to your insurance if you do get a stove and you have insurance on your garage. If you put a stove in your garage and it's not certified or inspected and it burns down, your insurance will not cover you. They're very adamant about that. Now, coming back to the pipe, follow it all up to the ceiling, and for there you need to install an adapter. And here's the actual kit that I bought. It's called the Ceiling Support Kit, and these are all the parts that come in the kit. And if you follow the instructions that come with the kit, basically it's up to code. So here's the part here that you see right there. That's the insulation shield that goes there. And you install these parts over here. Then that goes into there. This goes on top of the chimney outside. And when you build a box here for the adapter, it's going to be approximately 14 inches and a quarter by 14 inches and a quarter square. So when the factory built chimney goes into the ceiling support, it's going to have a 2-inch clearance from any combustible material. So I ended up having to frame a 14-inch and a quarter square hole there for the adapter to go in. As you can see here, my stove was in the other part of the garage. It's going to come out of there, which is going to give me a lot more room to work there on that countertop. So the picture on the box here just gives you a perfect description of the installation, as you can see again. And when you put your chimney through the roof, make sure that there is a 2-inch clearance between it and any combustible material. And then you can install your roof flashing with the storm collar. This will somewhat hold the chimney up. You also want to make sure that the chimney is plumb, and then you should install a chimney roof bracket that will hold it onto the roof securely. And when you install the ceiling support kit, do not put insulation between it and the chimney. There cannot be any insulation that touches the chimney in the attic. That's why there's the attic insulation shield here to keep any insulation from going in. So make sure you install all these parts in the kit. If you do follow the instructions like I said, you're going to pass the inspection, no problems. What I'm going to do now is go on the roof. I'm going to show you how I installed it outside, and I'm going to show you the chimney roof support bracket as well. So there's the chimney outside. You can see the support brackets that go each side of the chimney. There's the storm collar and the flashing I was showing you on the picture on the box. And make sure you do not put insulation inside here. It's totally illegal. The inspector comes, like I said, they will make you remove it. Also, when you put the small collar on, you want to put a nice tight bead of silicone all around to make it waterproof. And you want to make sure your shingles go over the flashing so you don't have any leaks. You can see here the shingles are in pretty bad shape, so I have to get this redone in the spring. I did put some turbines here to give the roof some ventilation, and I think what happened is there were no turbines on this roof, and it got way too hot in here, and all the shingles curled up and got damaged. So Also, when you put the roof brace on, and make sure to bolt the ends of the rods and the joists on the roof. Don't just bolt them anywhere. You want to make sure that it goes right into the 2x6 underneath the plywood of your roof. Also, what the inspector is going to look for is that the chimney is 2 feet above any surface that is within 10 feet within the chimney. So in this point, it was the peak of the roof, and I had to make sure that the chimney was 2 feet above that. And also, when you install your chimney, grab a level and make sure it's nice and plumb, nice and straight up. Before I added the brace here, the chimney was a bit loose on its own, so now it's nice and tight. Also, if the chimney is 6 feet above the roof, you have to have the support bracket. That's the code. In this case, it was just short of being 6 feet above the roof, so I did put it on anyways because it made the chimney nice and tight. Before I put the bracket on, it was a bit loose. And if you get a bad windstorm or something, it could blow it off and then it won't be plumb anymore. And there's my old chimney. That's going to be removed along with the old stove. That chimney there was out of code. Apparently the inspector told me it had been outlawed 25 years ago. He said it's got asbestos between the liner and the outer shell of it. So it's a good thing I'm getting rid of it. And there's an outside view of the new chimney. It's nice and high. Anyways, it's not too hard to installing a stove. I'm sure you're going to be able to do it yourself if you follow the instructions. Always make sure to get it wet inspected, and always use a certified stove if you have a lot to lose in your garage. Like I mentioned previously, the insurance will not pay you if it burns down and they find out that your stove is not certified. I was just at the insurance the other day and they adamantly told me that if it's not certified and your place burns down, we will not cover you. They actually get a bit paranoid with wood stoves, and I get paranoid a bit too because I want to make sure that if something happens, I'm covered. It's not a big deal if you have an old shed or something and you don't really care what happens, but if you have a lot to lose, make sure that everything is up to code. Anyways, winter's coming, and hopefully you've got your shop heated for the winter. If you're not sure about the codes, you can contact me. You can go on this website here if you live in Canada. It might be slightly different if you live in the US, but it's going to be pretty similar when it comes to the installation codes. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to keep yourselves warm this winter. If you live in Australia, it's actually the spring right now. It's going to be summertime when it's winter here. So all you viewers from Australia, enjoy your summer, and we're going to try to keep warm here in Canada. Take care now. See you next time.